Well, guys, it looks like we're going to Texas for Texas 2K. So you know what that means. We got to get this thing ready for it. There is a lot of work that needs to be done for this car for it to just go and be a part of it. Now, let me answer a couple questions really quick because I know you guys are going to ask, Drew, are you racing at Texas 2K? Are you going to do the quarter mile or whatever the events are from a dig? Probably not. But there's more than just that. If you guys know Texas 2K, there's more than just that. So we're gonna get this car ready. And if things open up, I heard Sunday is kind of like a dead day. If things open up and I just wanna just limp it down the track and just send it a little bit, we'll do it. But I'm not gonna like fucking sit on my watt box and launch this thing at 4K. I'm on stock axles in the rear. Yes, 1,000 crank horsepower, stock axles in the rear. And also, I know my car isn't like competitively fast. Like, it's quick here in Cali on the streets going to these park and chills, but you throw me in front of anybody that knows what they're doing, even if they make probably 200 horsepower less. I am not a drag racer. I'm not gonna act like I'm the fastest guy ever because I'm not a drag racer. I don't do that. I respect the people that do, and you know, their cars are built tough, but drag racing is a stressful sport on your car. It puts so much stress on everything, your trans, your clutch, your drive shaft, your axles, your wheels, your studs, everything. And don't forget about the motor. Yes, the motor. The last thing I want to do is go to Texas and blow my car up over there. So we're going to go out there. We're going to have fun. We'll probably compete in some races somewhere in Texas or in Mexico. But I'm not going to be racing competitively or anything like that. This will be my first time at Texas 2K, and it's gonna be a really fun time. And I don't want that fear or that cloud of something breaking or something going wrong happening, just like ruining the trip. So we're gonna go have fun. We are gonna go race, but like I said, we're not gonna thrash the car. So ironically, I've already started doing stuff. I didn't know I was gonna go until yesterday. One of my buddies from Monday Night Madness, he hosts a lot of events down in Texas, really good car meets. He hit me up and was like, bro, I want you to come out. I linked with him when I went to the Drift and Drag event for Quiet, and he wants me to go. And I want you guys to see the car, so we're gonna make it happen and bring the beast. But like I was saying, I just happened to be like doing like tune-ups and service on the car. I already cleaned and put new fuel socks on. I cleaned the fuel filter. And today I want to pull the injectors out along with starting to pull the fan out because I have a new balancer. Let me show you guys. This beautiful piece of machinery is a fluid dampener. Now what this does is it balances the harmonics of the motor, making it so if you're revving out really high, you have a high horsepower build, it's going to just not have a bunch of vibration, which will just destroy the motor. And the stock one works good, but this is a better piece of hardware and it's slightly larger than the stock one. So theoretically, we're gonna actually be adding horsepower. You might ask, how is a larger crank pulley going to add horsepower? Let me explain. Essentially, one spin of this will spin slightly more belt than the stock one, meaning that one spin of this is going to happen much more frequently. Therefore, we're gonna make a little bit more boost. Not a lot, but a little bit. Maybe 10 horsepower, maybe 15 horsepower. If we get one more PSI out of it, it's like 15 wheel horsepower. So, not bad in my books for something that is going to help with other things as well. But to do this, it is a pain in the butt. I ordered the tools to do it. They're coming tomorrow, but I'm gonna try to just clear out as much room as possible. I don't wanna pull the radiator. I don't wanna drain my coolant. So we're gonna just try to work around that. Now really quickly, while I take a break from working on the Mustang, let me tell you guys about tomorrow. Tomorrow is February 7th. Now to some of you guys, that doesn't mean anything. However, it should. Because tomorrow, Quiet Racing is dropping a whole new line of limited run merch. So you need to have February 7th, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time marked down, set an alarm, do something, because you do not want to miss out on the new Quiet Racing merch. It's a limited run, which means if you snooze, you lose. And like I said previously, I can't confirm it, but I'm pretty sure wearing this merch just makes you faster. Whether you're on a bike, whether you're in a car, it just has something in the material itself that makes you faster. But other than that, the material, the quality, the print, everything down to the last thread is just perfect on it. Nobody is telling me to say that either. They just wanted me to come on here and tell you guys about the drop. But honestly, this is some high quality stuff right here. Like I said last time, I hope my merch comes out this good. So if you're a fast guy, if you're a cool guy, if you're a car guy, make sure to have February 7th, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time marked, set an alarm. Like I said, do what you gotta do. If you're off at 5:15, tell your boss you're sick at 4:45 and be ready for the Quiet Racing merch drop. Anyways, thank you to Quiet Racing for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. Also though, I have some bump stops to add to the rear. I haven't ran bump stops in quite some time, so I got some stock ones. I'm gonna trim them to low profile. It's better than nothing. And I filmed it for my TikTok, but we also did a brake flush on this, and we'll be getting new pads here before we go. If I have time, there are some other things I wanna do, but today we're gonna just tackle the bump stops and starting the disassembly of the front end. Let's get to it. All right, first things first, we gotta get this thing up in the air. So let's go ahead and throw it up on the quick jacks and pull off the rear wheels. All right, 10 seconds later, the car is in the air. We're gonna pop off these rear wheels and then I'll show you guys what we got. By the way, if you're ever thinking about buying quick jacks because they'll make your life easier, do it. They will make your life easier. Okay, so here's what rear bump stops look like for the Mustang. And here's where they go. Fairly straightforward, right? Slides in right here, sits somewhat like that. The issue is, that's not much clearance. So we're gonna trim this a little bit. I'm thinking of going to the second nub and just trimming it right there. That way I have, I don't know, 2 inches of travel, and worst case scenario, it'll hit that nub. I'm just gonna ask one buddy and see what he thinks, and then we'll get trimming. All right, let's go ahead and get this all snugged up. I only did take off the top nub just in case. We could always take off more, but we can't always add any. So looks good, clears it, and should help. All right, that was easy and quick. Now that that's done, what we're gonna do is pull the injectors. I need to send these out to get cleaned. We're gonna disconnect the fuel pumps, turn on the car. I'll open the garage for that. And we just need it to shut off. Just drain all the fuel out of the rail. That way when we pop them off, a bunch of fuel doesn't come out. Just gotta disconnect this bad boy right here. Come on. Come on. Disconnected. Opening the garage for a split second so we can drain this beach. All right, should be good enough. I'm also gonna disconnect the battery because I do wanna look inside this fuse box and make sure everything's okay. My car's been having an issue where it'll just shut off every once in a while and it throws like a PCM code. And I believe it's because of these relays in here. But I wanna make sure it's not an internal issue, so this has to come out. I cleared out some room here. Like I said, I gotta look at the fuse box. I haven't pulled the fuel rail in quite some time, so I'm gonna eye it up and see how I wanna go about it. I believe I remove this, move this harness line, and go ahead and start unbolting it. I think it's that simple, but the other side's a little harder. All right, about 15 minutes later in, we got one side pulled. I believe these are ID 1050s. Yeah, 1050Xs, that's what it says on there. Oh, there we go. They should be pretty clean, but actually, I don't know. That looks pretty bad inside. I don't know. I'm gonna take them to my guy. I'm gonna do the other side, and we'll get them back in a few days. I wanna show you guys something really interesting. So I was debating on being lazy and leaving in like these little buckets that like properly seat the injectors. And I asked my guy, I was like, should I pull them? He was like, yeah, bring them so we could replace the seals. Dude, these seals are dog water. Look at this. So this one isn't even that bad. Check this one out. Look at that. This is why you need to do regular maintenance. So obviously I'm guilty of it. I don't know if I've ever pulled them out before when I've gotten them cleaned, but definitely a reminder, don't be lazy, take care of your stuff, and it'll take care of you. Anyways, I'm gonna go drop those off later today. Now let's move on to the next thing. We're gonna start pulling off all of this so we can access the dampener down there. Looks like reservoir needs to move, which should have enough slack to just tuck up out of the way. And we really need to get this fan out. That is like the biggest thing. And after that, we should have enough room. All right, I managed to do it. It was a bitch to squeeze the fan out of here, but I got it out. Now, tomorrow, when my tools arrive, I will have plenty of room to access, it's not focused on it, access the crank hub. So it'll be super easy. I'm gonna draw a diagram of how my belts go. That way I don't forget. And once that stuff comes tomorrow, we can take care of that. I got both belt drive systems disconnected and I pulled the bolt itself. Now, it is an ARP bolt, which surprised me. I thought it would just be a stock one, but the shop put in an ARP one. That's really good. We just gotta wait. I hope that doesn't drop. We just gotta wait for the tools tomorrow to come, and I also ordered a new ARP bolt. So yeah, I also drew my little diagrams. That is the back belt system. This is the supercharger belt system. So when it comes time to throwing everything back together, I'll know how it goes. I'm gonna shower and then go drop off the injectors. I don't think there's anything else we can do today. Like, yeah, we could dust under here and stuff, but I'll do that when I'm putting everything back together. I'm also gonna clean off the rust from these bolt heads so that way it looks really pretty when the hood is up. So yeah, as for right now, we are at a stalemate. Okay guys, it is day 2 of getting the Mustang ready for Texas 2K. I just took the motorcycle out, picked up some more parts. Let me show you guys what we got. I think this is gonna solve that vibration I noticed way up top. Let me show you. So here are just cheap wheel spacers from AutoZone or O'Reilly's. You can get these kind of anywhere. This is like an 8mm spacer, and I have to run these because the hardware for the 3-piece bead locks gets really close to my brake calipers in the rear. I've actually shaved these multiple times because of how close they get. So we do not need these anymore. I think these were causing the vibration because look how they sit on the wheel. You see that? Imagine, imagine shaking the wheel or this spinning at 150 miles an hour or however many RPMs this would spin at that speed. Imagine this thing spinning that fast with it off balance like that. That is a big problem. We want it to be sitting perfectly centered so that way when it's spinning, there's no rotational mass vibrating the whole car. So very, very dangerous. Do not recommend these unless you just need them in a pinch. Wouldn't recommend them at least for a build like this. In return though, we got these. These are custom made, machined, CNC'd aluminum that fit my hubs perfectly. So if we go back here, I'm gonna clean this off. Don't worry, I'm just showing you guys. Slide this on. There we go. It sits perfectly on the hub, and this will fit perfectly inside this hub, so everything will be nice and balanced, at least more balanced than how it was before. My boy David took all the measurements and had these made from Coast Wheels and Tires in Costa Mesa. If you guys need any wheel and tire setup, any tires, any wheel accessories, they do a lot of stuff there. Go check them out. But I honestly, this is one of the more exciting things because I think this is gonna make the car feel so stable at like, you know, 150 miles an hour. Like this thing is, it's on the hub. It's perfect. It's honestly perfect. And I can't wait to get this thing back out on the road. But first, let's clean these hubs. And I actually might paint this just so it stops rusting. So I'm gonna clean it off with a wire wheel and just get this nice and pretty. Also, I plan on getting the harmonic balancer on today. We're just waiting on the Polar to come. The harmonic installer actually showed up, so we just need the Polar. That and the new ARP bolt, but those are coming together. So once they arrive, that little slut down there is gonna be coming off. Anyways, let me get the hubs nice and clean. I'll show you guys what it looks like. Oh, and just look at the size difference too. Like that's a lot of rotational mass offset. That's no bueno. You go away. And look what came right on time. A box within a box. Ooh, beautiful. And then here is the balancer removal tool that I got. Very, very nice. Hell yeah. So let me finish up with the wheels really quick and then we will get to installing, well, removing and installing the harmonic balancer. After some custom modifications to the tool, as you can see, it was a little thick. Had to trim it down a little bit. After that, I think we are ready to start pulling this. There's not really a good camera angle for it, so I'll just handle it and let you know how bad it goes. But hopefully everything goes well. I got it on. Oh, time to start prying it off. This is very scary, but she's coming. She's coming. All right, that was one of the scariest things I've ever done. I've pulled one of these off before. I did it on my Supra, but this one for some reason was scary. I think might have been seized a little bit. Sorry, I'm out of breath because this thing isn't light, and I was just finessing it out of here. I kind of bent my radiator a little bit. There we go. Anyways, got it out. This is why I needed to trim these a little bit. You could see there's not much room, so just trim them a little bit if you need to, and yeah, she'll come right out. Essentially, the way this tool works is this pushes on the crank itself. You can see it actually bent a little bit from how much force we needed. But this pushes on the inside of the crank, and when you tighten it, it pulls the pulley away from it. So let's look at this versus the new one. All right, so here's the two side by side. I'm gonna do measurements and weigh both of them. This one feels much lighter than, oh yeah. I'm gonna get my scale because I bet this thing is a pound lighter, and that's massive coming right off of the crank. All right, we got it zeroed out. Let's see what the old one is. Jesus. Damn, 15 pounds flat. Dude, this thing is not anywhere near 15 pounds. Look at this. This thing is, let's take a look. Wow. Fucking 0 pounds. It weighs nothing. It says 10 pounds. It's hard to see, but when you put it on, it goes straight to 10 and then turns off. So this thing is 5 pounds lighter. It feels like it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now let's see if it's any bigger. It's advertised as 7 inches, and if that's true, it should be bigger than stock. Okay, so they both do measure in at 7 inches. However, the stock one has this little step. So we're gonna measure how much of a difference this step is compared to this one, which doesn't have much. It's about 1/4 inch deep. So let's see compared to the fluid dampener. It's the same. So actually not adding any boost or any belt drive efficiency or anything like that, but 5 pounds of rotational weight right off the crank, that alone is worth it, plus the added benefits of the vibration dampening and all that. So although it is not a 7-inch technically, it is stock size, so it is a direct bolt-on replacement. So here's the tool I'm using to get everything on. It is the OEM Tools, the Long Range Harmonic Balance Installer. They have it with different bolts. So if you have a GM, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ford, it'll work. Essentially, this threads into your crank. You throw your hub or you throw your crank pulley over it, and then you slowly push it on with this nice little press. Make sure you line up your keyway and everything, or else you're gonna have a very, very bad time. I'm gonna focus on getting this on. I also slightly lubed it up. That way, hopefully it just glides on. Let's go ahead and try this out. Okay, so getting it on is way easier than I thought. So it slid right over, got it right up to the key. And now I'm just gonna slowly work it on with a 32 millimeter and just pray everything goes well. So like I said, let me focus on this. Let me lock in right now and handle it. It is the next day, and we've done already so much in order to get this car ready for Texas 2K. Let's go over what we've done. The biggest thing, the harmonic balancer. That is going to not only make the car slightly faster, but just help keep the motor balanced and reduce vibrations massively. Secondly, whole fuel system has been serviced. Injectors I pick up today. The new fuel filter and fuel socks are in. So the fuel system is going to be running at 110%. It is going to be flowing. Also, I have new brake pads ordered, and I flushed the whole braking system. So brake pads, brake fluid, all that stuff has been serviced. When the brake pads get here, I'll toss those in and I'll show you guys a TikTok of that or something. But that has been done as well. Also, we have hub-centric wheel spacers now for the rear. Should help keep the rear end nice and smooth and balanced. So if we're doing high-speed pulls, this is going to make the car feel way more stable at speed, way less vibration. 10 out of 10 for that. Also, we got rid of the stock tail lights and I put on my Vector V2s. People didn't like the S650 lights. Then people didn't like the stock lights. Now we have the Vector V2s on. Hopefully you guys like these. And I keep getting comments like, it's your car, Drew, just do whatever you want. It doesn't matter what people think. And I know that. Trust me, like, I know that. I could do whatever I want. I really don't care about people's opinions on my car. But I also am a crowd pleaser. So I want the car to look appealing to you guys. So if you guys like these taillights more, I like all 3 pairs. I don't care which ones I run. but I want to please you guys at the same time. Papa Drew will take care of you. Anyways, I have to reassemble the car. I have to put the fan back in and bolt up the radiator support and the cooling system. And then I also want to do a nut and bolt check just on all of the major components, the trans mount, the rear end, the engine mounts. Just make sure everything is nice and bolted down. And there are a couple minor things I might go ahead and do. One being, I might enclose this front area a little bit more with like some aluminum sheet metal. I have plenty of it, and I might make like little air dams and stuff. We'll have to see on that. Also, I might make some sound shield for the rear end, maybe cover up the X-brace, and I don't know. I'm debating on doing all of those things, but I'm honestly not too sure. I'm also gonna clean the air intake. I don't think you guys care to see that, so I'll just handle that off camera. Make sure it's nice and clean so we get good flow, good fuel. Check the spark as well. Might as well check those while we're here. And just make sure this thing is running at 110% so we are covered if anything happens in Mexico. We're cool. Nothing will happen. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I'm gonna get back to just reinstalling everything, all the boring stuff. It is currently raining outside and I don't have the injectors, so it's not like I could show you guys how it is. So before we go down to Texas and Mexico, I'll have to do some test hits and we'll do some data logging and stuff and just make sure the car is running cherry. Thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you guys in Texas. Subscribe, and until next video, peace.